Patrice, you look so flowery. Caramel.
Thank you. I had a friend who lives abroad, and we have a group of poets. I'm a writer, and it was her birthday today. So our group of writers had a high tea in her honor today.
Oh, cool.
You know how it is as women. Once we've got it all together, we are not taking this apart. So it will stay until I'm finished all of my Zooms tonight.
It looks so pretty.
But thank you so much.
Oh, I love it. I hope everyone's doing well. I know for me, this is a nice distraction on this election day. I also know that I did some extra stretching when I sat down to warm up because if you're also like me, you're carrying a lot of extra tension in your jaw and your shoulders. So while people are trickling in, just go ahead and do some slow neck rolls. I really like to sort of just take one hand and gently pull my head to one side and then the other. Nice and loose. All right, we'll give people a couple more minutes, but I'll just give a quick overview of tonight. It's going to be pretty quick and painless, I think. We're going to warm up together, and then we will run through both pieces using the tracks that you will use to record on the website. And then we'll have some time for Q&As. This is our last rehearsal together, so I want to make sure that we have lots of time for questions. So those questions can be things like, hey, in measure 33, can you play the alto part? Or bigger questions about your recording setup. We really just want to make sure that everyone feels confident going into creating their videos. I've already received some videos. Thank you to everyone that's been submitting. They look wonderful. And we will get more into the recording and submissions in a moment. But for now, let's just start singing a little. So we're going to start nice and low. I know I'm being hit pretty hard by allergies, so I may drop out towards the top and just keep playing. But yeah, we'll start nice and low with that big open hum. Good. I know most of you have probably done vocal sirens before when you sort of just do this long sigh from the top down. Lately, I've been adding a Z sound to my vocal sirens that helps me get my placement nice and forward and gets the air moving and gets our diction warmed up. So just try a nice, loose vocal siren starting at the bottom, going all the way to the top and coming back down. So it should sound something like this. All the way down to the basement. Let's just do that a couple times. And we're going to add that Z sound to another one of my favorite warm-ups. Let's start and see. I believe we did this on an E-A-E-A-E. It's going to be those same vowels with Z in front. So Z-A-Z-A-Z-A-Z-A-Z. And you want to feel that Z with your tongue, the very tip of your tongue against the back of your front teeth, almost like a T or an S. Z, Z. Z-A-Z-A-Z-A-Z-A-Z. Z-A-Z-A-Z-A-Z. sort of puts some tone behind that Z. So when you start singing, you're not Z, but Z, Z, Z. It's almost like you're one of those like toy cars where you sort of like wind it up and then it goes. You can use that to sort of build some momentum. Z, 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 Z. Z, 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 Z. Z, 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 Z. And as you get higher, you might need to sacrifice a little bit of that buzzy resonance, especially sopranos when we get up into the roof there. But I think it's still a good way to get our air moving, get our mouth warmed up. All right, and lastly, let's do some ha, 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 ha. It's a little low for me. Nice big Santa Claus-esque laugh. When you inhale, I know sometimes as singers we focus on our diaphragm and not breathing from here, but breathing from down here. I'd like you to imagine that you're wearing an inner tube right around your waist. And when you inhale, it's filling up all around you. So you have all these big stores of air to pull from instead of just pulling from straight down. Sometimes I think that just picturing air coming from right below your diaphragm, even though that physically may be the case, so we sort of cut ourselves a little bit short with breath support. Start up here. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. Ha, ha, ha. Two more. Last one. Was nice and high. Let's end with a big sigh, almost like a yawn. All the way down. Excellent. I'm sure that all sounded wonderful. Okay, so I think we're just going to jump straight into listening to our tracks. Before we do that, I just want to give a reminder about the clap. Everyone that has submitted videos so far has, if you submitted a video to before 4 p.m. this afternoon, that's when I stopped looking at them. The clap was great. Clapping where I can see you is excellent, very helpful. So again, you listen to 2 empty measures, then you clap on the first beat of that third measure. So in both cases, you hear 6 beats and you clap on the 7th. All right. Addie, am I able to share my screen? I think I should be able to. Here we go. Excellent. Come on. There we go. Okay. I'm sure this is painful to watch a millennial try to use Zoom. Share computer sound. All right, so again, I am on the Bel Air website. This is the virtual choir page, and I clicked here to find practice tracks for all parts, including piano-only tracks. So for the purposes of this, we're going to be using the piano-only tracks. However, you can use any voice part track if you would prefer when you record your video. So let's go ahead and start with Coventry Carol. It's a little less complicated here. And let's just give it a run through. Excellent. All right, we're just going to roll right into Holly and the Ivy, but we will have time for questions and regroup about both of these pieces in a minute. All right, so this is Holly and the Ivy. Soloists, go ahead and sing your solo parts from home. I think that's the only thing I wanted to touch on. Let's get into it. Before I get into anything, I would like to hear any questions that you have about Coventry Carol. Just in case we have any newer people joining us, I will run through the order of the verses again. So everyone sings that first line. The first verse is only sopranos and altos until "For to preserve this day." Tenors join them for "This poor young ling for whom we do sing." And then basses join for the last three measures. Verses 2 and 3, everybody sings. And basses on verse 3 have the option to take all of their G's down. Well, not all. The G's in the first two and the last measure down the octave. But that is optional. If that's not in your comfort zone, don't feel pressure to do that. Awesome. Okay. Let's move on to the Holly and the Ivy for questions. Any questions about that piece? Soloists, are you feeling good? Yes. So to answer Janine's question, can we go over measure 40 to 41 in the Holly on the words "as bitter as"? Yes. I will find it and then yes. Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky rhythm. I don't think the rhythm's correct in the piano track. That's my fault. So on that fifth solo there, "as bitter as any gall." I'll play that one more time. As any gall. So "as bit" is really quick, and then it's just eighth quarter. "As bitter as any gall." And I think the key is going to be "as bit," sort of leaning into that Z that we were doing in the warm-up, "as bitter as any gall," instead of focusing on the S, just focus on getting through to the B. For the Holly and the Ivy, do altos sing the refrain over and over until the end? Yes. So basically, if you're not a soloist, your refrain is identical every single time. While you record, when you're listening, you'll hear the soprano part being played on the piano, and just, stand there, look pretty, just like, any performance. I'm not going to do too much in the way of phasing videos in and out. I think overall the effect is cleaner if everyone just sort of like gets on screen and stays on screen. Yep, so if you're not a soloist, your refrain is identical every time. All right. Yes, so Sherry, so you're joining on verse 2. So that's what you'll hear in the piano track, and you're just an octave lower, so. I will say that is very low. So if you, Sherry and Amanda, if either of you decide that you need to sing it up the octave, or if you want to sing and then you want to jump up the octave starting at go ahead and do that, as long as you're singing those notes in either octave, just, no new harmonies or anything like that. Where is the clap? So when you listen to the track, you'll hear the metronome in the beginning before any of the music starts, and you'll hear 6 beats and then you clap. So you'll hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, clap, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the music will start. So it's at the beginning before you start singing. I'm using that to line up the audio and the video, and it is so, so helpful. Yes, I can definitely do that. So it's the same for both pieces. So I'll just demo it on the Holly and the Ivy. Share screen. There we go. Okay, so you know what? I'll demo both of them. We got time. All right, here we go. I'll be demoing the clap in frame for myself. And then I'll just hang out, sing my part, and we'll demonstrate for Coventry Carol as well. Oh my gosh, I wasn't sharing my audio. Could you guys hear that? Oh, you could. Oh, that's good. Okay. Did that clear it up? Does that make sense? I know it's so tricky to describe. Excellent. I should also mention, oh, Sherry and Amanda, that same thing about the octave applies to when you join in verse 5. Remember, Heather Higgins begins the verse, and then everyone, all of the soloists form a small group for the second half of that solo at the end, whichever octave is most comfortable for you. All right. That's a good question. I didn't include the pitches because it just, I went back and forth. Ultimately, it felt cleaner. You'll be doing this a couple times in a row, so you'll have the pitch. Just, you know, from repeating it, you can, if you have a keyboard, you can play your starting pitch. So maybe I should have included pitches. I apologize if that would have made things easier. Chris and Heidi, can I throw out our recordings if they're not good? I absolutely won't be deleting your recording, Hattie, oh my gosh. I really will avoid completely like throwing someone's recording out. If you took the time to rehearse this and submit a recording, I really want to include you. That said, you can do as many videos and as many takes as you want before emailing them to me. I've done some of these in the past, and I've literally done like so many takes, and sometimes I'll do takes and takes and takes and decide, you know, it's just not the day for me, and I'll come back tomorrow and I'll get it like 1 or 2. So don't feel pressure to just like sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna record it now, it's gonna be perfect, it will take me 10 minutes. Because that, you know, really probably won't be the case. I'm going to be recording my own tracks for this, and I've already scrapped some, and I've been working on this music for months and months and months. So yeah, please don't feel pressure to submit anything that you're not proud of. Oh, something I should mention, please try to have 1 person per frame. It will just make everything look neater, and you want a bit more like room on the top and side of your video. Again, you want a recording landscape, so the screen should be like this shape like we're seeing now, but a little bit more room around your head. You don't want it to be just your head, because there's going to be so many people on screen that the videos are going to have to get cropped and moved around. Doesn't the software help with some of the minor errors in a recording? It does. I really want to avoid doing auto-tune or anything like that. I'm using Adobe Premiere to stitch this together. And I'm also I'm trying to replicate an authentic performance experience, not necessarily a studio recorded piece, if that makes sense. And to be honest, I'm already going to be spending hundreds of hours putting these together, and to go through and professionally edit everyone's audio, it's definitely not just hitting a button. It's very laborious. So I'm going through, I'm doing balancing. So I'm tweaking everyone's levels, so you don't need to worry that it will be everyone just thrown into the video. It's all going to sound cohesive. It's going to sound great. I won't be correcting pitch or anything like that. Yeah, I agree with Addie. It's going to sound beautiful. It's very hard when you're recording this because you only hear yourself. I did one of these videos and I worked myself into such a tizzy. It was the first virtual choir thing I had done, and I submitted this video and I was like, oh my gosh, it's I've never sung before. It sounds horrible. They're just gonna have to take me out of it completely. And it ended up sounding amazing, and everyone I talked to was I felt the exact same way, because you're in your living room. This is not how you're used to rehearsing or singing this type of music, but I promise the overall effect is going to be so cool. It's going to feel so much more comfortable than when you're recording or when you're rehearsing alone like this. These are all good questions. Anything else about the process? I'm happy to share what I'm planning on doing over the next month, if that's something that's interesting to you guys. I do too, Chris. I miss hearing everyone's voices. Catrice, I think right where you are looks great. That's not too busy at all. Yeah. You can keep the hat too. And oh, just a reminder, you can wear something generally, I would just shy away from loud patterns, but something that's any solid color should be great. Yes, Peggy, good. Thank you for reminding me. I submitted. I emailed some updated instructions to everyone. So the Google form was just having some issues with the capacity. So I am just going in, downloading, and then removing things from the Google Drive so we don't hit that capacity as quickly. So the Google form should be working much better now. If you have issues with the Google form, you can email the videos as attachments, we've received some videos via a personal Google Drive where the permissions were set that we were still able to see and download. And then there's also a Dropbox link on the website now. So hopefully between those three, it will be, yeah, I think one of those three should work. At the very least, just straight up emailing the videos will be, should be your best bet. So if you want to start with that, that would be great. Again, it is very, very helpful to name your files, oh, what did I say? I can't remember the order that this goes in. If you could name your file, song title, your first and last name, your voice part. So Coventry Carol, Sandra Files, soprano. That's really helpful for me when I'm bringing everything in to edit it. I'm just organizing in general. Will I let you know if you receive our video? Yes, I can respond and just let you know. Yeah, just so you're certain. Okay, Jane, I will let you know if I'm able to successfully download that, and if not, then we will talk and work something out. Debbie, if you'd like to re-record, that's fine. If not, I think I can probably work it out. Just, you know, if everyone else remembers the clap, I think we'll be able to work it out. Yes. Any other questions about the recordings before we go back? Anything else you want to bring up before we listen again? All right, we will just jump over. I can't remember if I made this super clear. It's very helpful if you clap in frame. So, ooh, good idea, Chris. So we're gonna listen. Everyone, because of the latency, you're not actually going to be clapping at the same time that I'm hearing. But go ahead and clap when you hear the first beat of the third measure and try to do it in frame. So I know in choral clapping, we are picky about placement. Sometimes we want it to be lower. Not this time, because it's not going to be in the video. I should mention that. The clapping part will not be in the video. The video is basically going to start right when the piece starts, so you can clap like right in front of your face. I don't care. All right, so everyone try the clap with me as we listen to these tracks again. Oh, and also if you go to the Festive Singing Virtual Choir Project page that's linked on the home page, if you go to the recording section, click here for more detailed instructions. I wrote out everything I could think you would need to know. And I bolded the things that are super, super important. So here you have the 3 methods that you can try to submit. Recording process. So hopefully that is all helpful to you. Okay, so we're gonna do the tracks and practice the claps. All right, here we go. Let's try that one more time. Make sure. Oh yeah, I'm still sharing. Okay. Yep, let's try that one more time. Everyone's claps looked great. And let's do Coventry Carol twice. And one more time for good luck. Excellent. Yeah. That looked clean. Any other questions about that? Okay. Yes, altos. Would it be helpful if I just recorded? I'm not going to replace any of the tracks on the site. weigh in. Let me know if it would be helpful if I recorded just this as a separate track. Would that be helpful or more confusing? So you would listen to that track and then start your recording. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, I'm gonna need some luck. I've sort of gotten my workflow together, but it is very labor intensive. We are thinking early to mid-December. I have some dates in mind, but I'm hesitant to promise them because I don't have everyone's videos. So I'm only working on a handful of videos, and I want to make sure that like the process is all actually working. But definitely before Christmas. I'm aiming for around the time that we would normally be out in the community doing holiday stuff. It will be emailed to you. It will be on our Facebook channel. It will be on the website. We're really going to like push this thing out everywhere. So when it is ready, you guys will be the first to know. Oh, yay. Oh, good. The Rec Cancel is excited to share too. Okay, you know what? It sounds like that doing like a starting pitch track isn't going to be helpful. My advice is to just listen to the first part of the song to get your note and then just hold it in your head. I think oh, sorry, I'm getting stuff caught. Altos and sopranos, you guys have the same starting notes. Oh my gosh. The starting notes for everyone in both pieces are the same except for tenors. In Coventry Carol, you have a B flat, and in Holly and the Ivy, for the 2T section with everyone, tenors, you guys have that nice cheerful major third. So basses, altos, sopranos, you guys just have to remember one note as your starting pitch total. That's funny. I didn't plan that. I should have said I did. That would be like a clever thing to have done. These are all great questions. Anything else? Questions, comments, jokes? Oh, thank you, Mary. Yeah, this has, I know we're not doing too much singing tonight, but it has really been truly a joy to have this to look forward to every week. If you're local to Bel Air, stay tuned for some upcoming projects and some exciting fundraisers. The board and myself have been working very, very hard behind the scenes to make this spring and summer and next fall very exciting. And I'm just very heartened by the participation. I honestly, when I first pitched this to the board, God, what was it, July or August? I really thought we'd get like 10 people to participate. And it has just been so heartwarming and made me so happy to be able to meet so many new people and see so many familiar faces. And yeah, I think it just goes to show that the arts are essential to all of our well-being, and I'm grateful to have the technology to do something like this. Yes, Renee, I can do that. So this is the soprano line. I'm just going to play the very first one. This is the sopranos. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to keep going. Sopranos, that it's a deceptively tricky line because you have all this moody, you know, B flat business, and then right at the end, it's a surprise pickardy third. Oh, Chris, I'm not sure the total number that will be actually like submitting videos, but that's definitely something that we'll include when we share the videos. People participating, you know, from all over the country. Yeah, I wish all of you lived closer. I wish we could just all, you know, start rehearsing in person together, and I can hold on to all of you forever. Okay, great. Yeah, we'll send out a happy email after everyone has submitted with a grand total. Yeah, I love data. I'm a big data person, so I'm excited to crunch some numbers. Any other questions about the process? Like I said, because people had started to submit videos, which thank you very much. I spent a big chunk of today starting to piece all of that together. So I'm incredibly excited. Honestly, it's looking and sounding great. Any insecurities that you may have, I can relate. I have been there. I will be there again. But I promise you that it is looking and sounding super, super duper. Soloists for Holly and the Ivy, is there anything you would like to go over? Notes, order, all that jazz? Awesome. Great. Well, I'll give it a couple more minutes to make sure there are no last minute questions. Oh, excellent. Okay, so Sherry, this is the second section. Okay, so the second solo. All right, I'll play it down the octave. Yes, I should have pointed this out. This is so tricky. So this applies to Sherry and Samantha. The holly bears a blossom as white as the lily flower. It's such a weird way to accent that phrase. As white as the lily flower. So, yeah, I honestly, I would just practice it, get used to saying it that way. As white as the lily flower. And flower there, flower, it's weird. That whole line is weird, honestly. Just think 1 and 2 and 3. If I were you, I would just write 1 and 2 and 3 right in that measure, because that is really tricky and feels counterintuitive. I agree, Peggy. Choral singing is the epitome of more than the sum of our parts. Okay. Again, thank you everyone so much for joining us. If you are not local and haven't connected with us on Facebook, or I mean, I guess you all are receiving emails because you're here. If you're not getting our emails, let one of us know, and you can let myself know, and we'll make sure that you're on the email list. Our Facebook page will be a great place to check for upcoming news about the spring semester, We have some really fun fundraisers in the pipeline. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening. I know there's a lot of canceled plans going around right now, but I'm very much looking forward to doing something together in the spring. All right. Again, if you guys have any questions after this, please just email us at info@belairecommunitychorus.org. We are more than happy to help you troubleshoot, figure out what's going on. I know that this can all be daunting. Again, thank you guys so much for being willing to just jump headfirst into such a weird and at times challenging rehearsal setup. I did not think that I'd be, you know, Google Forms would be giving me this much of a headache, but here we are. So, thank you, Catrice. It's been wonderful to have so many smiling faces, so many new people, so many familiar friends. I look forward to sharing the finished product with you, and videos are due this Friday, November 6th. You know, anytime before midnight. Oh, a great birthday gift to our fearless board president, Addie. All of these videos, I will be forwarding them straight to you, Addie. Oh, I didn't know that. That's funny. Yes, please let us know if you have any questions. You can shoot us an email. You can find us on Facebook. We really just want to stay connected with everyone, especially those of you that are joining us for the first time. So please stay in touch. We will be in touch with a finished product soon. And I look forward to sharing all of your hard work with you and with the world. Addie, am I forgetting to mention anything?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, I'll give you guys 10 minutes of your evening back. Stay safe, stay relaxed, stay well, and be kind to one another. All right. I will see you all, oh, not next week. I was going to say that. I will see you all soon. Bye, everyone.